Check it out, baby. Check it out, y'all. Check it out, baby. Check it out, y'all. Check it out, baby. Check it out, y'all. Check it out, baby. I was born to roll. Brainiac dum-dums bust a scientifical approach to the course, and the force is centrifugal. Can you find your way through the lyrics that be catching them? Throw another rhyme across the room, they be fetching them. And they take a loss to the master. And I throws crazy blows, and they knows I be plastering. All across the room, on the ceilings and the walls too. Punk little suckers didn't know I had the balls to come around. They block with my cock diesel system and turn it up to 10 and then start to diss them. And they didn't want to battle. If they did, when they saw me, they'd open up their trunk, but they tried to ignore me. Hey, little suckers, I know you hear me calling you, but you wanted some, but I see that you're all into fronting in the future and you're fronting, so let's get it on like Marvin Gaye. Take the cash and sit it on the hood of your wig-wag, low-riding Cadillac. Back up your boys and let's start the battle act. Like, you know, the Master Ace don't play when it comes to my bass time. Check it out, baby. Check it out, y'all. Check it out, baby. Check it out, y'all. Check it out, baby. Check it out, y'all. Check it out, baby. I was born to roll. Okay, so we gonna reach back. We not done yet. We not done. That's only one verse. Now, Born to Roll was a remix. A lot of people don't know that. The original version of that joint off my Slaughterhouse album is this joint right here. And we're gonna do the second and third verse off of this. Check it out. Driving down the block like what else should a brother do? It's Saturday, the heat might smother you. Rolling down my windows, yeah, I have an air conditioner, but I got the sound I want the whole world to listen to. Weighing at a red light, Kentucky Fried Chicken and Low in Theory taping, bass crazy kicking it. See this Puerto Rican, Latin Chico Rico Suave in a red Corolla. Hey, does he wanna play? Pulling up beside me, looking like he wanted. Show me what you got and watch me get up on it. Holding up traffic, but we can't hear their horns cause he got music I kinda, yeah, he got it going on. But I think I better school him cause he don't know the time. So I'm turning up the boom cause he cannot mess with mine. Brothers hit me hitting from like 50 blocks away. I wanna turn the head so you know I got to play high decibel. Passing through a residential district. See a few cuties, I turn it up like this quick. Meet out, man, don't sleep. I got the woofers in my Jeep. Check it out, baby. Check it out, y'all. Check it out, baby. Check it out, y'all. Check it out, baby. Check it out, y'all. Check it out, baby. Check it out, baby. Check it out, y'all. Check it out, baby. Check it out, y'all. Check it out, baby. Check it out, y'all. Yeah. I was born to roll. Black boy, turn that shit down. You know that America don't want to hear the sound of the bass drum. Jungle music, go back to Africa. Brother, I'll arrest you if you're holding up traffic. I'll be damned if I listen. The cops save your breath and write another ticket if you have any left. I'm breaking eardrums while I'm breaking the law. I'm disturbing all the peak. A sister soldier said war. So catch me if you can. If you can't, here's a donut. Cause once you drive away, you know I'm gonna go nuts and turn it up to where it was before. Nice try, but you can't stop the power of the bass in your eye. I wonder if I blasted a little Elvis Presley. Will they pull me over and attempt to arrest me? I really doubt it. They probably start dancing, jumping on my dick and pissing in their pants and wiggling and jiggling and grabbing on their pelvis. But you know my name, so you'll never hear no Elvis. Strictly the hardcore, 30th Street, level shit. Guards on my side, so watch what the devil get. Positivity hitting 50 levels deep. Coming out the woofers in my Jeep. Check it out, baby. Check it out, y'all. 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 Check it out, baby. I was on the road. Thank y'all. That's fun. I want to introduce my man, Rob. Keep going, brother. Keep going. This is my man, Rob, on bass. Me and him rocked the Blue Note a couple months back. Give him a little taste. Baby, check it out, y'all. Check it out, baby. Check it out, y'all. Check it out, baby. I was born to roll. Check it out, baby. Check it out, y'all. Check it out, baby. Check it out, y'all. Check it out, baby. Check it out, y'all. Check it out, baby. I was born to roll. We got time for one more. This joint right here means a lot to me because it's kind of it speaks about my career in its entirety. And it basically takes y'all through my entire journey from the time I got in the game till the time I got out. Kind of tries to tell my entire story in a 3-verse song. And I want to thank Lee Hogans and the rest of the band for coming out here to DC with me and rocking with y'all today here at NPR. Thanks for having us here today. And this joint right here is called Story of Me, featuring my man Pearl Gates, who's a little hoarse today. So I'm going to fill in for him and try to do my best to sing instead. Let's go. Man, it took me 15 years to understand my worth. It was 1988 when Marley planned my birth. Had to get my feet up out of the sand and surf. Never thought that my rap lines would span the earth, but they did. Went to every corner of the globe. It's time to reveal if y'all really want to probe. I went from Brownsville kid, born in Kingstown to Queenstown, sitting in the sauna in the robe. And since then, never took a day off from the pen. I understood hard work would pay off in the end, yeah. For as long as my body is strong, I'ma give it all I got, try to body a song. I'ma give it all I got, try to rip that show. Yo, understand I gotta get that dough. So, cause I know how to spit that flow. Sold out 3 nights in a row like tic-tac-toe. In the fast lane, kick back slow. No need to rush. We royalty, bow down at the feet of us. The anticipation is like standing on the corner in the cold when you can see the bus. It's finally here, our arrival. Raised in the ghetto, singing songs for survival. We stand, united by the beat, man. Tight plan, right hand on the Bible. Yeah, just trying to let you know. Just want to let you see. Real is all I know, and real is what I be. The time is now for y'all. Now it's not for me. Life is beautiful. This is the story of me. Just trying to make history. Gotta make history. Yeah, yeah. Ain't no mystery. Gotta make history. Yeah, yeah. Know my history. Gotta make history. Yeah, yeah. Can't shake destiny. Gotta make history. Yeah, listen. I almost had the 90s by the throat. I was just that close to getting money by the boat. Load. Instead of hoping what I wrote flowed, I could have said, whoop, there it is. But it would have felt so wrong to do that song. Trying to prove I belong in a crew that strong. Listen, understand, this is preordained. This is written by God, and we all came. Could have signed with Def Jam, but Leo changed his mind at the strangest time. He was still destined to sign a dangerous mind. Another cat with the grind the same as mine. Another son born on the 4th would come. He was, of course, the one with that course to run. Like a ham sandwich on the softest bun, I refuse to eat it, I would not be repeated. Here to stay and get a lot completed. This is what I gotta offer, what I got is needed. Confident, but I'm not conceited, and I swear, the same mistakes I made would not be repeated. I choose to keep paying up dues. Life tried to beat me up like stuffed shoes. It was hard, the doctor caught me off guard. Same place I was born, got the rough news. We rise, we fall, we pray for better days. While shooting for the stars, we pray for better aim. Yeah, yeah. Through all the change, the game will never change. Long as the sun is shown, the goal is still the same. Yeah, yo, gotta make history. Gotta make history. Ain't no mystery. Gotta make history. Yeah, yeah. Can't shake destiny. Gotta make history. Yo, yo. Know my history, gotta make history.
There we go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your morning edition, Slow News Day. My name is Steve-Poikonen, and we're hanging out in Central California. Gonna be a bit of a different show. We were supposed to have Dan Cohen on this morning. He had somebody staying at his house, finishing a documentary or something like that. They're not going to be out of there until later this evening. So he asked to come by tomorrow. So we're gonna do that whole thing tomorrow morning. But because he's got somebody at his house, because of their work, he hasn't been able to finish the investigative series that that we were supposed to be discussing anyway. So friend's gonna leave, he's gonna work, then we're gonna be on tomorrow morning to talk about all of that. Lots going on today though. And we gotta talk. We gotta talk. Me take care of something real quick though. Okay. The mass formation, the mass psychosis, the stuff that we've been talking about for the last 6 months. It's become part of the, the regular vernacular now, to the point to where they're running stories on it, trying to change the definition in real time, hiding search results, all kinds of shit fuckery is going on around the concept of mass formation. The mainstream media won't even necessarily refer to it as a psychosis, which it is, but we're going to get into a lot of that today. There's a number of things that I do want to talk about. Before we, let's see, this is pretty much an entirely can't do the show on YouTube show. I suppose I could try the disclaimer thing, see if that works. But there's just there's a lot to go about this. It's pretty fucking heavy shit. It's kind of sensitive. I don't know. I mean, I guess I could give a fuck, and we'll just see what happens. I'll try and keep the clips over onto the Rockfin. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. This article's out of Zero Hedge. Because there is, for every narrative, there's a counter narrative. Whenever somebody's trying to push you into one direction, you can be sure that there is a there's either multiple routes to that direction, or there's a plan B that's gonna gonna be a fallback. Dr. Robert Malone's assertions about mass formation psychosis in the context of COVID-19 are underscored by the fact that authorities in the UK admitted to using totalitarian methods of mind control to instill fear in the population. Seems like pretty forward admission. Please stop chewing on that blanket, dog. Just not, no, stop. You weren't doing this 5 minutes ago. You waited until I was talking. You did. In Canada, the military also admitted launching a psychological operations campaign against their own people in order to manipulate them into compliance with COVID-19 restrictions and mandates. During his viral podcast with Joe Rogan, after he was banned by Twitter, Malone explained how the global population was being manipulated into remaining in a constant state of hysterical anxiety via mass formation psychosis. What the heck happened to Germany in the 20s and 30s? Very intelligent, highly educated population, and they went barking mad. How did that happen? So let me pause here for a minute. Because this is something like we haven't spent a ridiculous amount of time, flat out saying, hey, look, Dr. Robert Malone might not be the most honest actor, but well, here, let me pull this up. Because it's worth, I don't know, it's worth talking about. Dog, you gotta stop. That's not okay. If you eat blankets, we have a problem. You know what? Yeah. I'll come back to the Zero Hedge article. That's what I'll do, and we'll hear a little bit of this. Where'd it go?
I think he's a spook, and I did think it before when I first saw him go through his rigmarole. I actually played it one of his earlier.
I remember you also said he was full of shit a couple times,
and then after a period, I thought.
She probably set this up a little bit. That, of course, is Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak, No Agenda Show. They're talking about Dr. Malone's appearance on Joe Rogan. Dvorak pretty early on had some of the same red flags that, like, well, for example, Kendra did. And I did. We talked about it. I was on a panel with Dr. Malone back in May. A little bit further into the show, I'll talk a little bit more about that. And again, let me be perfectly clear. Like, I'm not trying to shit talk necessarily the data. I'm not trying to say that, what the guy says is categorically untrue. I honestly do view Dr. Malone as part of the counter narrative. And we'll get to why here very shortly. Let me finish playing this little segment.
He was full of shit, and I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that he was taking credit as the inventor.
Yeah, which is not entirely true. I mean, he was one of many.
Said it.
Yeah.
And then he backed off and said, I had some patents. If it wasn't for my patents, it wouldn't have been invented. And so he figured that was okay, good enough. And that's what he's kind of like finally, and on the Rogan show, he really backed off. So he never said he was the inventor. He says it was based on many of his principles, which is probably true. But then I see that white hair and a suit, and his best friend is a CIA guy who co-wrote a book with him.
Oh, I didn't know any of this.
It was on the Rogan show. He talked about this book he wrote with his best friend.
Yeah. Okay. Huh.
CIA agent. And I'm looking at him. He's got the gray hair now. Where did that come from? The gray. All of a sudden, he's got the gray, perfect, that coiffed gray CIA
Well, he's
hair.
ex-CIA because today's CIA is woke, brown, and has mental issues.
I think that's the front, CIA front people.
Okay.
They're just a bunch of phonies. But so he's got the hair, and he wore a suit to the Joe Rogan show with a tie.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop that tomfoolery right there. I love those guys, by the way. I don't know if you can tell or not. Steve is a fan and listener of the No Agenda Show. Let's go back to, oh god damn it, I didn't pull up the damn audio. But yeah, let's go back to the Zero Hedge article. I wanted to get that out because I do think that it's time that, and this is happening. You know what I love about the community that I'm in, the get your, deliver the news 6 to 12 months early community, is that almost always, basically right at the same time, when we're seeing this shit happen and our wheels start turning, we're like, oh fuck, this is the rollout of the super hard counter narrative. Oh man, look, it's midterm season. I wonder how this is gonna play out. And then we start talking to each other a little bit. We've all come to the same relative conclusions right around the same time. And then, a little bit of back and forth. We can kind of hone in on these ideas, hopefully make them a little bit more concrete and presentable to you guys. In that respect, been talking a lot to Beeley, been talking a lot to Tessalina, been talking to Whitney, here or there. She had a baby 3 days ago. She's, kind of out of it. But anywho, it's nice to know that we're not out on a limb here, that what we're seeing does track with the stuff that we've been seeing throughout, and we have each other that we can bounce this stuff off of, so that we don't have to feel like we're all alone on it. So anyway, going back to the zero hedge story, jumping back into mass psychosis, knowing that this a guy who was pretty much rocketed into the spotlight after having co-written a book with his best friend, the CIA agent. So myth-informed Milwaukee, I can't remember his real name. He's the guy that throws the Better Discourse events. Let's push play on this a little bit.
Basically, European intellectual inquiry into what the heck happened in Germany in the 20s and 30s. Very intelligent, highly educated population, and they went barking mad. And how did that happen? The answer is mass formation psychosis. When you have a society that has become decoupled from each other and has free-floating anxiety in a sense that things don't make sense, we can't understand it. And then their attention gets focused by a leader or a series of events on one small point, just like hypnosis. They literally become hypnotized and can be led anywhere. And one of the aspects of that phenomena is the people that they identify as their leaders, the ones typically that come in and say, you have this pain and I can solve it for you. I and I alone, okay, can fix this problem for you. Okay, then they will follow that person through. It doesn't matter whether they lie to them or whatever. The data are irrelevant. And furthermore, anybody who questions that narrative is to be immediately attacked. They are the other. This is central to mass formation psychosis. And this is what has happened. We had all those conditions. If you remember back before.
Okay, so now he's about to say some shit that I fundamentally disagree with. And I would also argue that we didn't have all of those conditions all at once, that a lot of those, that there was a rollout, then a very coordinated mass application of pressure, and then a little bit of a pullback after a prolonged period of application of that pressure. There's also, and this is the problem that I've had with Malone both times that I've been on a panel with him, and then also Peter McCullough, although to a degree I understand why. But anytime you start to bring up some of the broader implications and overarching reasons for the entire restructuring of society, putting everyone on the blockchain, putting everyone on digital health passports, vaccine passports, digital IDs, things of this nature, these guys vanish. They skedaddle. They're like, oh, yeah, no, of course, there's nothing beyond a profit motive that we ever need to consider or be concerned with here. And that throws up a whole bunch of red flags to me, too. Because we all know that, yes, profits are important, but this isn't about money. This isn't about health. This is about the systemic reorganization of society to get everyone onto the digital system where your entire being is tracked. Your entire being is surveilled, down to the organism. With diagnostic bots running through you, I'm not making that up. It's a fucking plan. Openly discussed in a number of the reports that we've gone over on this show. Play the last couple of seconds of this here.
2019. Everybody was complaining. The world doesn't make sense. Blah, blah, blah. And
it's not that people were complaining the world doesn't make sense. If you recall, in 2019, people were just big mad at Donald Trump still over the Russiagate nonsense. We had a brand new Congress that we're gonna shake things up and bring down the House and stuff like that. That's what was going on in 2019. We were just getting to know America's favorite Instagram influencer who suddenly found herself with a congressional seat in Sandy from the block. Yeah, I disagree with that. I do. Shit libs were getting owned. Progressives were getting lied to. You could say, really, that the conditions were damn near perfect to shock a society into mass psychosis.
We're all isolated from each other. We're all on our little tools. We're not connected socially anymore, except through social media. And then this thing happened and everybody focused on it. That is how mass formation psychosis happens. And that is what's happened here.
I'm being a little bit disingenuous there, Bob. Malone's summary of how health authorities seized on the unifying threat of the COVID-19 pandemic and exaggerated its threat. We've got stories on that today, too, by the way. They're finally starting to walk some shit back. To create mass hysteria is backed up by leaked details of how the UK government manipulated its population during the early days of the pandemic. It's first revealed by author and journalist Laura Dodsworth. Scientists in the UK working as advisors for the government admitted using what they now admit to be unethical and totalitarian methods of instilling fear in the population in order to control behavior during the pandemic. Yeah, I mean, from a state of fear, how the UK government weaponized fear during the COVID-19 pandemic. And that came out in fucking May. Telegraph reported the comments made by members of the Scientific Pandemic Influenza Group on Behavior, a subcommittee of the Scientific Advisory Group for Emergencies, SAGE, the government's chief scientific advisory group. The report quotes a briefing from March 2020 as the first lockdown was decreed that stated the government should drastically increase the perceived level of personal threat that the virus poses because a substantial number of people do not feel sufficiently personally threatened. We've got to scare the shit out of these people. One scientist with the SPIB admits that in March 2020, the government was very worried about compliance and they thought people wouldn't want to be locked down. There were discussions about fear being needed to encourage compliance. Do you fucking hear that? Again, we talked about this. And decisions were made about how to ramp up the fear. The unnamed scientist added, the way we've used fear is dystopian. The scientist further confessed that the use of fear has definitely been ethically questionable. It's been like a weird experiment. Ultimately, it backfired because people became too scared. Yes, you, from your positions of perceived power or authority, deliberately, intentionally went above and beyond to break the minds of the people who live in your country. And now you're a bit surprised at the results. The people that you broke may stay broken. Everybody breaks differently. You had no idea how broken those people were before you induced this fucking mass psychosis. You had, or maybe you did because you're collecting everyone's metadata. Maybe you knew specifically what buttons to push with what people. Maybe you knew that we were going to be the control group the whole time. I don't fucking know. I don't know. But us as the control group, boy, it's making them look bad. Another scientist warned we have to be very careful about the authoritarianism that is creeping in, adding people use the pandemic to grab power and drive through things that wouldn't happen otherwise from day fucking one. We told you that. From day one. Emergency powers, once granted, are seldom, if ever, rescinded. You guys knew that. You guys knew that because you watched this show. Wrapping up this article here. According to the report, another researcher with the group acknowledged that without a vaccine, psychology is your main weapon. Psychology has had a really good epidemic, actually. That ought to be fucking stamped above each and every nameplate where we hang these fucks at the next Nuremberg. Yet another scientist on the subcommittee stated that they've been stunned by the weaponization of behavioral psychology over the past year, and warned that psychologists didn't seem to notice when it stopped being altruistic and became manipulative. I'm calling bullshit on that, especially since this is from the United Kingdom, the home of the Tavistock Institute. Calling bullshit on that. In addition to the UK government's response, it was also revealed that the Canadian military launched a psychological operations program against their own citizens, the early days of the pandemic, in order to amplify government messaging and head off civil disobedience. Right. Actually looks like Paul. That's really weird. Mass psychosis is a myth, the same way military running clandestine propaganda campaigns against the citizens is a myth. Canadian military leaders saw the pandemic as a unique opportunity to test out propaganda techniques on an unsuspecting public. Gosh. Be ashamed to not take advantage of a unique opportunity. Meanwhile, following early efforts to bury the term altogether, Google is now desperately rigging its search results to return only negative articles about mass formation psychosis and Dr. Malone. Google's current top search result link for mass formation psychosis is a Forbes hit piece that recycles dubious claims Mr. Malone already debunked during his Rogan appearance. Would love to hear what you guys have to say about that. Throw it in the chat. Throw me an email, sndshow@protonmail.com. We've got more on this. Gonna get a little bit deeper into it. And to do that, we're gonna jump over to the Rockfin, Odyssey, D-Live, everywhere but YouTube, really, is how that's gonna work out. Do check us out on platforms that don't punish us for thinking critically, for talking about complex or complicated issues in a grown up and nuanced fashion, with, the occasional dick joke. Just can't not. At any rate, the link to the stream is in the chat. I wonder if I can edit. I can. I'm dropping the Rockfin link into the description now. Hey, I can do that in real time. Neat. Save changes. Oh, yeah, no, I can't do that in real time. Okay. I've got to reschedule it, blah, blah, blah. At any rate, you don't need to make an account over on the Rockfin to watch us there. If you want to hang out in the chat, then you can make a free account. If you love what we do, you can endorse the channel. It's $9.99 a month. You get all of the paywalled content on the network. It's a great way to support your favorite content creator and get everybody else's free paywalled content for what appears to be free. Because you have just paid one nominal low price per month for all of it. We love you guys. But we can't hang out on YouTube anymore. So we'll see you everywhere else. And if you're one of those people that has moral compunctions against watching content on any other platform except for the one owned by DARPA and ran by spooks, I guess I understand. I love you.